to get you here quickly. You should start from here and let us take care of everything in between. Flextronics SBS, innovative manufacturing services.
Hello and welcome. This is Eric Miscoll with Charlie Barnhart Associates. I'm here at Electronica 2012, and it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Arthur Tan of IMI. He's the President and CEO of IMI, which is a world-class EMS out of the Philippines, and invited Mr. Tan to join us today to discuss his business operations and what they're doing in the marketplace. So, Arthur, welcome, and why don't we begin just by telling us a little about IMI for those who may not be familiar with your organization.
Thank you, Eric. It's a pleasure to be here in Electronica this year. We've been coming over to Electronica for a few sessions already, and what it is that a few people that are not familiar with IMI is that it's predominantly rooted out of the Philippines. So it started in the Philippines in the 1980s. So it's actually we're celebrating our 32nd year. And from there, what has happened is that from a local domestic EMS company in the Philippines catering mostly to Japanese customers, we've evolved ourselves from being a regional to now a global EMS player. Surprisingly, the change is that this year, 50% of our revenue is going to come out of Europe. And so that's the reason why we're heavily into participating here in Electronica. Okay. The business has also transcended, where in the past, the company started being predominantly focused on the storage technology and the computing space, and now 50% of our business are highly on high-level automotive.
Okay. And that was one of my questions, is considering your footprint, which is global now, I think 8-10 years ago it was only in the Philippines, you're now truly a global footprint. What type of OEMs are you targeting?
Well, the OEMs that we've always had since the beginning were Tier 1 OEMs. In the beginning it was Toshiba, Panasonic, Hitachi, and so sorts. And then we've also had some significant people from the United States, such as Emerson Networks and so on. But then from then we've diversified, focused on automotive and industrial, and we were able to partner to become a preferred supplier with Bosch and now Vallejo, TRW, ABB, and so on. So there's been significant progress on being able to develop Tier 1 customers that we deal directly here in Europe.
Okay. And are there any particular, it's an ever-changing industry, are there particular trends that you seek to take advantage of to grow the business for IMI?
Well, significantly, what has happened is there's been a transition from a very driven, we call the 3 C's in our market, computing, communications, and consumer. It's now evolved more towards automotive, industrial, medical, and Apple, right?
Yeah.
And so, and so those are the ones that's driving the company. But nonetheless, we feel that on an overall basis, even though there's some headwinds in the global market from the developed countries, the emerging markets and the emerging economies are keeping pace with the needs of the rest of the world in terms of consuming, better electronic products, in terms of inverter technology that's required for white goods, higher-end electronic vehicles with more feature sets moving down into the main market vehicles. And then, of course, the green energy that's required for smart power, for building, for consumer products and everything else. And so within that sphere, we see such a potential for the electronic market. And overall, roughly around a little over 30% is being served by the EMS market from the OEM. And so there's still quite a bit of available market for us to grow in.
And, and that's a good point, because the EMS industry seems to be challenged by a lot of difficulty and trends, going on in the industry, a lot of which we talk about with my firm. But what are the challenges that IMI is facing, and how are you seeking to address those?
Well, the challenges has been, number one, of course, there's a downturn that's coming into China right now. We have 6 manufacturing plants in China, and so that's affected by it. Although we have our European factories in Bulgaria and Czech, and the ones that are serving North America and Mexico are doing well compared to the market. we're trying to now balance the different scenarios and utilizations of our different sites. The Philippines, as our China Plus One strategy, is doing well. It's now leveraging that ability to be able to counterbalance the growing cost in China with that of the Philippines. But nonetheless, I'm not gonna say that China is now going to be a slowing economy. It's still one of the fastest growing economies in the world.
Yeah.
The local consumption is growing, so the export numbers are being limited, but the local consumption numbers are growing, and so we're focusing more on the domestic market and the consumption of the domestic market, and to serve that within our China factories.
Okay, very good. In closing, let me just ask, here we are, Electronica, opening day and all.
Right.
For you at the end of the week, for this to be a successful week for you and for IMI here, what does that look like?
Well, we would like to springboard this Electronica as a means to showcase the unique features of IMI within this very crowded EMS space. I think one of the key unique features that IMI has that few people know about is that we also have a subsidiary called PSI, Power Semiconductor Incorporated. And what it does is that it just caters into back-end SMS manufacturing for power devices, both on a component level and on a module level. Now, we step back and look at it, where the trend for energy efficient devices, electronic devices, is going to be the basis for all of these products that's going to move into the 22nd century. Then we need to have a partner, or OEMs will need to have a partner that will be able to manage a full complement of services, not only on the EMS box build scenario, but also on the power component module handling scenario. And we are able to merge both of those technologies into a single service and manage the engineering trade-offs that's necessary in order to make their products both unique and also very cost competitive. So I think that's, if we could get out of this fair this year with people with that mindset, that IMI is definitely going to be able to cater a wide range of capabilities, not only on a pure EMS, but also on the power semiconductor market, and combining those two in the power module, I think we've achieved a great goal.
Okay, very good. Well, we wish you nothing but success here, and for those of you watching, by all means, IMI is, we've known the company for several years and think highly of it, and certainly encourage you to give them a look and consideration. So Arthur, thank you for your time today.
Eric, thank you.
And wish you success.
Very good. Thank you very
you.
much for having us.
Absolutely.